Hi, my name is Natalia Willette, and I'm a real estate attorney here in the state of Florida. And today I want to talk to you about what are your tenants' obligations when it comes to maintaining your property. Oftentimes, one of the greatest source of disputes between landlords and tenants is the tenant complaining that there are things that need to be fixed or repaired, and the landlord not knowing whether those things are actually under the scope of their obligations or if it's under the scope of the tenant's obligations. So here are things to keep in mind based on the Florida statutes. Of course, number one, if you have a written lease, please be as specific as possible in your written lease, explaining to the tenant what you expect from them to be kept in repair, and what things you expect to have the obligation to deal with. But if you are the common behavior of real estate investors, which is you have tenants for month to month tenancies and you don't have a written lease, the Florida statutes act as a lease on your behalf. So chapter 83.52 of the Florida statutes is the one that deals with what the landlord is obliged to comply with. And here are the things that tenants have to do, or what the tenant is obliged to comply with. So number one, the tenant has to comply with the local building, housing, and health codes. That means they cannot create a health hazard, and they can, of course, not violate state law and federal law in what they're doing inside of the building. Number two, they have to keep the premises clean and sanitary. Oftentimes, you can have somebody that behaves like a squatter in your building, and that is actually them violating their obligations under the lease agreement. So if you have somebody that's dumping things in the backyard, etc., you can evict them or sue them for the fact that they're not maintaining their requirements in terms of the property. Next, they have to remove all garbage in a clean and sanitary manner. So they can't just huddle garbage in a corner and leave it there, or drag garbage across the road and leave it there. They really do have an obligation to maintain it in as clean and as sanitary a place as possible. Number four, they have to keep plumbing in clean condition, in good sanitary condition, and they have to repair plumbing. So if something happens to the toilet and it gets stuck, it's generally their obligation to call the plumbing company to go get that fixed. Also, when it comes to mold around the areas of a tub, etc., it's their job to keep that area clean under the Florida statutes. Next, electrical, plumbing, sanitary, heating, ventilating, all of that, they have to use it and operate it in a reasonable manner. That is, they can't, be taking electrical power cords, running them through the outside of the house and all of that in an unsafe means and an unsafe practice, because that's them also breaching their obligations under Florida statutes. They can't destroy or deface or impair or damage any of the aspect of your property, of the structure, and they have to conduct themselves in a manner that is reasonable in respect to their neighbors. So they cannot become a public nuisance. That is also part of their obligations. I hope this has been helpful to you in resolving some of the disputes that you may have with your tenants. Good luck out there, investors.